On a scale of 0 to 10, as far as a freestyler goes, where are you putting you at?
0.
Are you a straight 0?
I know my lanes, and I'm in a bunch of them. Him and Little Brows will rap. I'm like, get in on this. I'm like, that ain't happening.
Have you heard? I mean, have you even attempted it?
I'll make fun of him with some of it, but no, never. Not my thing.
Yeah,
it's a certain skill set, you know.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
Yeah, but you bring out the guitar sometimes.
Oh yeah, at the end of my show. So man, I always do an hour of straight stand up, and then the last 15 or 20 minutes. Because, you know, a couple years ago, more than a couple, but I always wanted to bring the guitar out. But I was too nervous about what other comics were.
It's tough to do at the store, though.
Yeah, and I was.
You show up with a guitar?
Yeah, it's not it. But I was too nervous about what other comics were going to say. And then I was like, they're not buying tickets to my show.
No, do whatever the fuck you want.
I'm doing and I'm doing an hour of stand up first.
Yeah. So you're checking that box.
Yeah, man. I'm doing it. And then, but this is something, you're talking about lanes. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I've always had a good time doing it.
Think of Sandler.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler special.
Yeah. By the way, that special, you saw that special, right?
Yeah.
That special was one of my favorite specials.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to hate on it.
No. Dude. I love Sandler.
I defend him to the fucking grave.
I don't know how you bash him. I don't know what's there to bash.
It became a cool thing to do. It's kind of like Nickelback, right?
Yeah.
Like they got so popular, it's like the thing to do. Like people hate on Drake. When they get so big, it's like the cool thing to do, hate on them.
Yeah, it's like Coldplay went from the coolest band ever, and like, you listen to Coldplay? I'm like, yeah, actually.
Yeah.
I still do, because we liked them last month. Didn't we like them last month?
Yeah. What happened? They do something, they cancel.
They canceled
It's so fickle. It's so fickle nowadays.
It's so crazy.
Are you doing anything for the Super Bowl?
Well, dude, I'm shooting my special
On Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Oh, thank God.
So the night before, I'm super excited about this, man. So I'm streaming.
Yeah, tell us what it is.
So a couple months ago, 2 months ago, I found my very first comedy CD.
Because you're moving, I'm sure.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly. And I found they were like, I think I only made 10 or 25 even back then. And I was like, let me listen to this. And I listened to it, and it was filled with good premises, but not a lot of great jokes.
Because how old would those jokes be?
They're like 16 years old. Right? And so I was like, let me rewrite this. Not like punch it up, but rewrite it. And same premises, but you know.
And do the premises relate to 2021?
No, I keep the premise kind of, because I keep the premises the same, but like they're still about my kids, and I do incorporate like more of what I think now. So if I'm giving examples, it's more current examples and things like that. But to rewrite it under this scope was so cool, and there were so many jokes that I would have got canceled for.
Really?
But I'm telling them
when it comes to like transgender.
Look, I have a lot. My jokes. Okay, I'll tell you one of them.
Please.
All right. So I have a teenage daughter, and at 14 is around the age that she started dressing like a slut, and I don't want my daughter dressing like a slut. I mean, I want her friends to, because that's kind of hot. But come on, pool party at Mr. Wolf's house, everybody. Come on, everybody, get in the pool. Why is your dad always wearing a robe? Just get in the pool.
Why does he make you wear a onesie?
So that joke, I loved that joke. But like, it's hard to tell that joke now. But
You think?
It is, but I wouldn't even tell that joke now. Like so when I listen to that, I'm like, that joke's fine. But honestly, my first thought is, wow, it's so much different between like boys and girls. Like I would never have that issue with my son.
No, the world's a lot more scary for girls.
Right. And so that's kind of where my mind went now. You know what I really found was that, so back then I was worried about punchlines. And I think I was a better actual punchline writer back then.
Not a storyteller.
Because that's where my brain went. And so I would hit a punchline, and if I got a laugh, I would be like, well, that joke's done. I can move on now. And now, after you do it for a bunch of years, you're like, well, there's more
to it. Yes.
Let's get in there. What are these other people
So you're
thinking?
going to rewrite, you're going to do the special of your old first special redone.
Rewritten
remastered.
entirely. I'm so fucking psyched for people to hear it. But here's another thing that I'm doing it all myself.
Funding, shooting.
I'm tired of those companies telling us what we're going to make, who can see it, when they can see it. Yep. This is our art. This is our shit. And so I'm asking people, man, just come check it out. Like, I want to take the power out of these big motherfuckers and put it back in the hands of the people.
And it's slowly turning that way.
Yeah. So
you've kind of always been on the forefront of it. We give Andrew Schultz, because he's kind of the first in the younger space to do it. But you've been doing it longer than Andrew Schultz as far as
putting it on YouTube and all that stuff.
Clips.
Yeah. So like, and this is going to be, I'm hoping people can jump on board and because as soon as one of us is like, hey, this is what this payday was, those companies are going to be like, yikes.
Yeah, no one talks about it, which is weird.
It's going to be
if we
something
do,
for all of us.
it gives everyone power.
100%.
Same with UFC. I'm like, if you guys would just tell them how much you actually made,
Yep.
when I negotiate, it's going to help me out tremendously.
So what I'm planning on
Well, it's like
doing,
podcasters. I was talking
Yeah.
to someone in Austin, and he's starting a podcast telling me, I'm like, dude, they're fucking you. Because this is how much, eventually, if you can get to this mark, this is how much you're going to make a month. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, and they know that. Mm-hmm. But no one really talks. Mm-hmm. Podcasters, like, especially big, they don't talk about the deals.
yeah, and the other, because they're scared that like maybe they're getting fucked, but the only way to figure out if you're getting fucked is for me to ask you,
Correct.
this is what they're giving me for these numbers.
Yeah, is this a good deal?
Is this a good deal,
Yeah.
right? And so what I really want to do is with this, I'm happy to open up the books and show everybody, hey guys, this is how many people, this is what I charge. Think about this.
Dude, this is what you should do. So you do the video, and then like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months later, like, this is the process. Have shoot behind the scenes.
That's what we're doing.
Cut it up, and then be like, this is the process. This is how much it cost me. This is the return I got after 5 months. These are the views that I got.
Yep.
These are the ticket sales I do now. Like, this is the avenue you guys should be going down.
And here's what I want to
Just
do,
look at Mark
man.
Norman, dude.
I know, man.
I keep
but he
sucking off Mark Norman. You know, he's over 5 million views.
Mark called me because when it started, and by the way, mine's over 5 million views also.
Mm-hmm.
But but he called me. He was like, "What do you think?" I'm like, "Dude, YouTube, unless you're Chappelle and Netflix is going to back up that truck, man, I think something crazy like 72% of comedy is viewed on YouTube, and you're making all of your money, passive income. Plus, you get to choose." When you put it out, how much you put out, all of that shit. It's
There's
in your
another key
control.
component there with Netflix too, whether it's Dave Chappelle, Seinfeld, Rogan, Mark Maron, Bill Burr, the analytics on that, every single special, people stop it at 28 minutes in.
Yeah.
Every special stopped at damn near 28 minutes in, then they'll come back to it or they don't come back to it at all. So if you know that, it's like, well, then why wouldn't I just do a 30-minute special? If I know the average length is around 28, 30 minutes, why am I doing this entire hour? Why wouldn't I break it up into 2 half an hours?
So here's what I think I'm going to do moving forward. I'm doing this special. I have another hour ready
In the can.
Guys, I've traveled so much, and you know how much I've been touring.
Yeah.
That I had about 2 hours and 20 minutes of material, just kind of that I would float around, and depending on the show, depending on what kind of. But here's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to do this special. And then from here on out, I think every 3 months, I'm going to put out 20 minutes of material on YouTube.
Dope. Yeah.
And I'm just going to put it out.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be the way to go because I'm with you. Not everybody watches the full hour.
No, we know for a fact.
Yeah. And you know what? If you just keep putting things out, you're reminding people, oh, here I am, here I am, here I am. Do you know what I mean? And an hour is a commitment, especially now. 20 minutes? Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, not too bad.
And so I think I'm going to do that. And whether I put out the 20 minutes all at once or in 10-minute increments or however it
spread
goes.
out throughout the month.
Dude, you know, there was a story in the Father of the Year special that was altogether about 27 or 28 minutes. And I just broke it up into 4 pieces and released it. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And it just drew people to right? It was a story about Jacob, my son, challenging me to a fight, which basically happens to all of us.
Yeah.
But it get drawn out, man. And that showed me like, I don't need those people to get this shit out. But they will convince you that you need them.
What's the models that we
Right?
grew up on, right? And all
Yeah.
our heroes grew up on the same models. And then if you go to Netflix, like, hey, man, I think my specials did good. I'm seeing numbers on the road. You'll never get the actual numbers.
No. And that's another thing. YouTube will tell you the numbers. Facebook will tell you the numbers.
You'll
and
know.
You'll fucking know. So if you go
Which is huge.
If you go to comedianjoshwolf.com, the ticket link is there.
And it's going to be live. They can watch it live Saturday.
Live Saturday, and it lives for a week. So if you can't make Saturday, it's live Saturday. And like I said, guys, I would appreciate you guys if you want to come by and check it out. Here's the thing also. I've never done a special one take. Right there. Live stream stand-up special by TFATKz right there. Yeah, I'll say the one. But I've never done a one take.
What do you mean? Like
One
you
take
shot
special.
2 or 3?
I usually shoot 2.
2,
so I can
standard.
kind of cut it up. But this is it. And how about this? Because of COVID and because I just decided to do this 2 months ago, I've only run this hour 5 times. But I like that tightrope feeling. I love that.
pressure.
I
Pressure, yeah.
David
fucking
Blaine.
Yeah.
love that fight or flight
Say
feeling.
David Blaine.
I love how you're not even gonna look back at it.
I couldn't let that slip.
What?
He's like, you just, man, you like Dave Copperfield, man.
Yeah, kind of.
I powered through a few.
Yeah,
I never, man, you like David Blaine.
I was waiting.
Man, you like David Blaine up in here, though.
Man, you like Siegfried and Roy, man.
Just saying shit. Man, you like Dikembe Mutombo.
Yeah,
And you're a nice guy. You powered through it. Like,
I was just gonna skip over. Yeah.
just shit that. You the John Elway comedy, man. That makes sense.
You're like Brian Sipe.
Yeah, me going.
We're talking about pressure. And you said like David Blaine.
Blaine.
Man, you the Elon Musk out there, man.
What you were saying? What you were saying? What you saying though?
Man, you like Dr. Fauci up in this shit. Just,
Said doctor.
we were all like,
I don't know. It felt good. I just wanted to say,
Yeah, you're the Jerry Jones of comedy.
I looked at Chin, he was like this.
Yeah.
she was like, nah, just. I had to say,
How did you get to David Blaine?
because he said walking the tightrope, and I was like, oh, David Blaine.
Yeah.
Oh.
How about when I got off stage at the Laugh Factory? Right away, you go, bro, I figured out what you look like. I'm like, what? This is from a bunch of other comics. I'm like, what? You're like, you look like a Rottweiler who got his shit together.
Oh, you do, bro. Yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, dude.
Grab that mic, son.
You do. Look, bro, look.